No further ado. Yeah, we here. That's true. And we do what we gotta do. We are coming through urban therapy for you. Urban therapy with Sun. We are on the one. We gonna get to the two into infinity. You are here, and so am I. We gonna do this thing and give it a try. Why? Because we need it, and we just do the things that we know that will make us queens and kings. But check it out, right? Today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about applying the emotional gauze. Applying the emotional gauze. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I'm talking about when I say applying the emotional gauze? Well, gauze is a bandage strip. Gauze is what you wrap around something that's an open wound. You try to stop the bleeding, try to make sure that you prevent the infection, and you try to make a better situation. And we are talking about emotional wounds today. So when we're talking about emotional wounds, you're talking about something that can't be treated with anything physical. You're talking about something that has to be dealt with on a personal level, on a psychological level, on a mental level. So when we talk about emotional wounds, when we talk about emotional scars, well, first you have to have an emotional wound that will leave an emotional scar. So there are no emotional scars that weren't created by emotional wounds. So we can be hurt emotionally by a lot of different things in our world. From the time that we are very young to the time that we are getting older, middle age, and older all the way into old age. And if those things never get addressed, if we never rip those bandages, if we never take care of those things that have been plaguing against our psyche for all of those years, well then, we do ourselves a disservice, and we carry that heavy baggage. We carry that heavy baggage into adulthood, and it shows. So, are we living the type of life right now where our emotional scars are not only being shown, but we may still have open wounds that are not being addressed? So, can we apply the emotional gauze? Do we have so much gauze? Do we have so many emotional bandages that we are walking around here looking like emotional mummies? That's how many bandages you got on you right now. Rita Reds. What up, Rita? What's going on the Instagram side? Good to see me, some you. Thanks for coming through. You know how me and you do. Yeah, I know you that you really do. Emily Dunlap is in the house and bow. Yeah, she about to turn it out. And my brother Ansel Jones, Baltimore, Maryland is where he calls his home. Carol Chamberlain, mi favorita. It's always good to have my peoples on you and still see ya. And T. Carrie Wright, morning, noon, and night. You be coming through every day. Glad to have you in my sights. And my brother from another Norris Hill. I said my brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Thanks for coming through, my brother. We gonna do this thing. Glad to see you coming through, my king. That's my word. All right, so, and did I say Stacey Yvette White? Stacey Yvette White holding it down for the D all day, every day. All day, every day, no days off, 365 work. So today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about applying the emotional gauze. We're going to try to bandage up these wounds, these emotional wounds that we have suffered. I mean, most of us live our lives trying to hide the fact that we have been hurt. Especially on social media, we do a lot to try to hide the fact that we've ever been hurt, that we've ever been damaged, that we ever got punched in the face emotionally, kicked in the ass emotionally. We all have. Each and every one of us is carrying around something from an experience that happened a whole long time ago that we never really bandaged up correctly, and we're running around here with these emotional wounds. It's an open wound, baby. It's an open wound, and it's time. It's time that we extracted the infection out of the wound, rebandaged up the wound, and protect it so it can finally heal. Now, we know that when a wound heals, depending on the depth and severity of the damage of the wound, it's going to leave a scar. But the emotional scars are okay. The most important thing is that we got a chance to heal. Yeah, the scar is the memory. The scar is the memory of the wound that was inflicted upon us. But at least the scar is indicative of the fact that we had been in a fight, or that the damage was dealt out to us, and that we actually did survive it. We were able to get past the wound. A scar is not a wound. It's a scar. It's a remnant. It's a byproduct. It's the aftermath of the wound. A wound is what it is. You see this, that on my hand is getting better day by day. But here's the thing about a wound. And since we're talking about wounds of an emotional nature, we can also relate that to wounds of a physical nature. What I'm learning about this wound is something that I've always known about when I got hurt. When you first get hurt, a cut, burn, whatever, it hurts. It hurts. You may bleed, and you have to protect it. You got to bandage it up. You have to make sure that it doesn't get infected and get worse. But as it starts to get better, it starts to hurt even more, because the skin is trying to bind itself back together. And that's not an easy process. So you have to still try to keep it clean, try to keep it from getting infected so it can heal properly. And by healing properly, we want it to heal without there being any evidence of there ever being a wound. It can't always be that way. But my hand hurts more now than when I first got hurt, because the body is trying hard to heal itself. So the nerves are trying to bind back together, trying to put one part of the skin back together with the other part of the skin. Now, liken that to an emotional wound, where as you are trying to heal from the wound, as you got your feelings hurt, as somebody hurt your heart, broke your heart, fucked you up, you're going to hurt as you start to heal. And part of that healing is expressing yourself. It's talking about it. It's reliving the experience. You have to tell somebody what happened. And you know how it is, y'all. You know how it is when when you went through something with somebody and you've had to tell the story over and over and over again to the point where you don't want to tell it again. Sometimes we don't want to tell the story because the story is long, and you might be the type of person that adds in a lot of details. And you may not want to tell the story because you do have to relive the experience over and over and over again. But one thing about reliving the experience over and over again is that you remember things that you may have forgotten. You recall things that you may have swept under the rug or whatever. But that's all part of the healing. And that's what we need to remember more than anything else. It's all part of a healing process. And it is a process, and we are in it. We are in that healing process, and it's going to be all right. Yeah, you think it won't be all right, but it will. So let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 11 o'clock till around 12:30-ish. And the reason that we say 12:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. And this is the Sunday, the 21st, my daddy's birthday. Sunday, the 21st, my daddy's birthday. Sunday, the 21st, my daddy's birthday. Pisces is all in the house. Yeah. My dad turning 84 years old today. We're going to put that out there right now. Brother Mac turning 84 years old today. And I'm sure that he feels blessed to be seeing this day. And I am blessed to see him seeing this day, because just a short time ago, we didn't know how it was going to go. But the way it's going, by the grace of God, the way it's going, he might see a 85th, 86th, 80. He might see a 90th. He on his shit right now, talking about, I'm going to see that 100. Because he was always talking about seeing that 100. Well, I know we going to hold it down for him. But this is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. I am your host, Sun 752. aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. It is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. It's Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, I have an announcement that I want to make to y'all. Got a little something I need to talk to y'all about. We are restructuring some things around here. So this is what it's going to be. And I'm going to explain to y'all why we're doing it this way. But from now on, the Daily Go Getimism show will be from Monday to Friday. So it will be a weekday thing. That will help with some scheduling things to make sure that everybody knows when the Daily Go Getimism show comes on. It throws people off when it's like, all right, it's Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock, and then it's 11 o'clock on Saturday, and then it's 11 o'clock on Sunday, but that's the Daily Go Getimism show. That's the Urban Therapy with Sun show. So this is what we're going to do. So the Daily Go Getimism show will be Monday through Friday. So it will be a weekday thing. And then on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, we will have the Urban Therapy with Sun show. That way, the Urban Therapy with Sun show and the Daily Go Getimism show are separated properly. So we do Urban Therapy with Sun on the weekends. We do the Daily Go Getimism show on the weekdays. Weekdays, Daily Go Getimism show. Weekends, Urban Therapy with Sun show. And here is how we're going to further distinguish the Urban Therapy with Sun show from the Daily Go Getimism show. We're going to distinguish that by getting the Urban Therapy with Sun show back to what I originally wanted it to be. Y'all know, if y'all have been following the show since before there was a Daily Go Getimism show, the Urban Therapy with Sun show concentrated on Black mental and emotional health. So whatever that dealt with, whether we were talking about mental and emotional health in terms of racism, inequality, injustice, whether we're talking about mental and emotional abuse or physical abuse, whether we're talking about family issues, matters, and things that happen in our family, in our community, that way. And the Daily Go Getimism show will concentrate more on modern, up-to-date, hip, more, I don't want to say trendy, but more contemporary issues. So y'all already know what we do on the Daily Go Getimism show. So we have more fun on the Daily Go Getimism show. But we also kick that shit. We still help each other out. We still give out that knowledge and all of that. But we're going to separate. You'll start to see more of a separation about what how the info goes between the Urban Therapy with Sun show and the Daily Go Getimism show. For those of y'all who were waiting on the Runaway Slave show, it's not going to happen. I made the decision. We're not doing it. And I'm going to tell y'all why I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I don't want to paint myself into the corner of doing let me put it this way. I watch a lot of bloggers. I watch a lot of YouTube about dudes who kick the Black consciousness. And what I've noticed about the dudes who kick Black consciousness is you open yourself up to a lot of scrutiny. You open yourself up to a lot of criticism. You open yourself up into being painted into the corner of somebody else's expectations of what you should be doing based on what you are teaching, tutoring, helping, saying to people. And I'm not with all of that shit. I don't want to be in any kind of position where I can't be my natural self. What I do on this show is me. What I do on the Urban Therapy with Sun show is me. What I do on the Daily Go Getimism show is me. So when I'm beating on tables, when I'm rapping, when I'm talking shit to y'all, when I'm talking about sex, when I'm talking about family, when I'm talking about hood shit, when I'm talking about long eyelashes and all kinds of things that we see every day, that's me. And that's what I want to talk about. If I get into this whole runaway slave shit, then what's going to happen is motherfuckers going to come through and they going to start being like, well, what are you doing? And how come you ain't doing this? And what about Africa? And what? And I ain't with all of that. And I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not with all of that. I get in front of this camera every day to express myself and to give other people a platform and a way to express themselves. That's what I'm about. With the Black consciousness thing, they want you to be a certain type of thing. So it's like, well, all right, you talking all this black stuff and shit, but who are you raising? Who are you? And what coalitions have you? And I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. And seriously, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, and then we're gonna get into this emotional gauze thing. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Niggas will get on and get in front of this camera and kick all of the shit, as far as what we need to do to advance as a people. Straight lace. They will. I can give y'all all of the advice about how to uplift our community financially, mentally, emotionally, education wise, and all of that kind of stuff. I can give you the blueprint on how to improve your life, or at least get on the track to starting to do that. But a motherfucker who comes through and has a coat drive or a toy drive around Christmas time, that's who people will listen to. And I'm just keeping it a buck. So I'm not saying that I'm not willing to physically do anything, but I know in my heart of hearts, money can't fix our situation. It can't. It can't. Money can't even fix poverty. How is it going to fix people who have been broken spiritually, mentally, emotionally? Our soul has been wrecked by racism, inequality, slavery, and all of that shit. We are destroyed as a people. And we are running around here. We talking about emotional gauze this morning. Yeah. We are all running around here like mummies. That's how many emotional bandages we have due to our conditioning. I represent that. But like I said, the next man who don't want to do nothing but take your money and fuck all your women, they will come on here and be like, all right, well, we having a toy drive. Everybody bring a toy and we going to have a coat drive for all of the people who can't afford a nice coat during the wintertime. They will come through and everybody will get on their side. Like, yeah, they really doing something for the community. And I'm not saying that they're not doing anything. What I am saying is that they are doing something physical that will last one day. And they will get all the love because that's how we think. Black people gravitate because of our conditioning. We don't gravitate towards the teacher. We gravitate towards the giver. I mean, if y'all think I'm lying, I ain't mad at you. But I know it's the truth. Why do you think drug dealers and shit can give away a bunch of turkeys around Thanksgiving time and everybody be like, yeah, he sell drugs and all that, But that motherfucker was giving out turkeys though. At least he giving back. So we don't always, because of our conditioning, we don't always embrace the teachings. We don't always embrace we don't always embrace the fishing pole. The fishing pole will allow us to eat the fish, catch the fish, become fish, sell the fish for years, for a lifetime. We don't always want the fishing pole, but we always want the fish. Too many of us want the fish. We don't have appreciation for the fishing pole. I ain't trying to fish. I ain't trying to put no worm or no hook or nothing like that and be waiting and I ain't doing it. But we'll take the fish if it's filleted. Like I can't eat fish with no bones. So, can you fillet the fish? Bottom line is, I'm not fucking with that. You know what I mean? The Legacy of a Nation show was not my show. That's why I never said it was my show. That was my dad's show. That was my dad's vision. He started off with some other people. They started off in like 2010 or whatever. They was doing their thing. But that was his thing. That's why he was the host and I was the co-host. I wasn't even the co-host of the show before. Brother Elohim, if y'all listen to the show, y'all know who Brother Elohim is. Brother Elohim is. Brother Elohim was the co-host of the show. My dad was the host. Brother Elohim was the co-host, and they was doing their thing talking about the indigenous Aboriginal community of the United States. That's each and every black and brown man, woman, and child. But that was his thing. That's why I didn't come up with the topics for that show. That was his show. So I don't really have it in me to carry that when this is what I'm doing. That was his baby. This is my baby. And this is the direction that we're going in. So what it's going to be is the Daily Go-Getterism show, Monday through Friday, the Urban Therapy with Sun show, 11 o'clock, Saturday and Sunday. If you have any questions dealing with this topic, I invite you to inbox me, or y'all can call into the show today, 319-527-6199. It's the Daily Go-Getterism show. So, what's going on, Cherry? And Cinderella, Dane. Well, it's the woman, Dane with fame. See, I wouldn't be able to do that on the Runaway Slave show. My motherfuckers be like, yo, you giving shout outs and shit. We supposed to be talking about our condition. Oh, man, fuck out of here. No. We're not doing that. And trust me, there's no sour grapes. I don't feel no kind of way about it, but I kicked around the idea about how to do the new show. And I wasn't feeling it. I couldn't come up with a good way to be able to kick it off because it's not, I work for the betterment of the black condition every single day, but I'm not trying to do it nobody else's way. I have to do it my way. Y'all can call it control. Y'all can call it whatever y'all want to. I don't really care. I help people in the way that I help them. I can't be helping people in the way that somebody else thinks is best. No, I see things a little bit differently. All right, what's going on? Charlene Curry. Charlene Curry. What's going on, Charlene? How you feeling, Charlene? All right, so we're talking about applying the emotional gauze. Applying the emotional gauze. Emily says, I'm actually going in to be in and out. Bishop Huffman, go live the same time on Sunday. Church finger up. Okay, all right. I mean, go ahead and mess with Bishop Pope, Cardinal, preacher, minister. Yeah, I mean. She also says, I hide my emotional scars. I need more gauze. Well, if you have gauze, you're not hiding them. You know what I mean? But that's okay. That's okay. And so Jones says, people believe if the show vulnerability, believe in the show vulnerability, people will hold it against them. So you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, Ansel? You know what I mean? Like anybody who, like, if you listen to Brother Polite or Sinetta or my man Umar Johnson, you listen to them cats and you see people hold them to a certain standard, and none of them they can't live up to it. They just can't, and I get it. I know why they can't live up to it because you can't. Listen, let me just let them do their thing. You understand? Do you understand? Narciso says it sounds minstrel-like anyway. I understand, my brother. Cherry says, I don't have any room for any more scars. I try not to inflict any, but it's not going to be me getting hurt anymore. So they only can get a piece of my love. A piece of my love. Yeah. There's God, right? Emily says, well, whatever you do, you gotta be you, and that you are, and that we love. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Ansel says, what about my chicken Caesar salad? Yeah, see? See, if I did a show like that, I wouldn't be able to talk about chicken Caesar salad. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, I haven't thought about chicken Caesar salad and when this flag. See, y'all be paying attention. That's what I'm talking about. Damn, I forgot about the chicken Caesar salad. It's almost that season, Ansel. Yeah. If the world open up a little bit, we need to, you know what? I'm going to put y'all on. Chicken Caesar salad for the whole Daily Go Get 'em. For the whole urban, we got it. I got y'all. I mean, if you can't make it, I'll send y'all one. I hope it still be fresh. Charlie Curry says, you do a good job of doing what you do. I appreciate that. And Narcil says the title format makes sense. I just want to make it easier. So on the weekends we do this and on the weekdays we do that. So, like when I write it up. Oh, by the way, here's the thing about the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'll be able to promote those shows. So we're going to have guests on the Urban Therapy with Sun show because it's only on the weekends. So I'll have a whole week to promote what we're going to do on those weekends. So I can already have those shows drawn up, written up and everything. And I can get people to come on the show. And, because I like having people on the show. I think y'all like having people on the show. It gives a different perspective. It opens things up to different experiences and things like that. So we can all relate to it. But let's talk about this emotional gauze. Emotional gauze. Y'all know what gauze is? Gauze is sort of like what you use before you put this band-aid on, before you put the band-aid on. Gauze is when you have an open wound, it's bleeding. You have to take the gauze. The gauze is sanitary, is disinfected, and you wrap it. You wrap it around. In my case, I would wrap it around my hand. So I wrap it around my hand tight to stabilize the hand and to stabilize the wound. So the idea is to get the disinfectant inside of the wound, whether you're using alcohol or whether you're using peroxide or both, or whether you're using triple antibiotic ointment or liquid bandage or whatever. But you wrap your hand to stabilize the wound and to stop the bleeding of the wound. Once the wound stops bleeding, you're going to change the gauze regularly until the wound is ready to stay unwrapped so it can breathe, get the oxygen inside of the skin, and you can start to heal. Once the wound is prepared to start healing on its own without having to have the bleeding stop, and once it is able to fight off the infection because it's not as open as it was, then you're on the road to recovery. Now, in a mental sense, in an emotional sense, when we have open wounds, that means that we've been freshly hurt. Normally, it means that we've been freshly hurt. We just got hurt. Now, we need to distinguish between when we get our feelings hurt and then when we've just been hurt emotionally, because somebody can die and we may be hurt because of that, because we really miss them, because we really loved them, we really cared about them, but they didn't hurt our feelings by dying. But we are emotionally scarred by dying, because it could have been somebody that we love deeply, and it could have been somebody that we really depended on. It could have been somebody that we really, really tried to keep alive. And I don't know about y'all, man. I don't know about y'all. I don't know if any of y'all have ever tried to keep somebody alive that was dying. But that shit hurts. Now, there's a good chance that we've all done it on some level. But when you actively are trying to keep somebody alive and they're dying, like what you're doing is not working, it hurts. because you feel like you kind of haven't done enough. So you may be doing physical things, making sure they get the medicine, making sure they get the treatment, making sure that you bring in professionals who can try to help this condition. And they may be too far gone for anybody of a human nature to help. So you start praying. You praying day, morning, noon, and night, hoping that a miracle will come through and God will spare their life. Maybe he's just making them really sick. So it can be a lesson to those of us who are watching, to get our shit together, or to show compassion for those who aren't feeling well. And then you see that the prayer ain't really working. I know we shouldn't talk like that, like the prayer isn't working, because it's working in the way that it works, not in the way that we want it to. I get all of that. But nonetheless, we are trying to keep somebody alive that is beyond our control of keeping them alive. Only God keeps a person alive. The higher power, the Most High, is the one who determines who lives and who dies, not me and you. So that's a different type of hurt. And I'm not sure if you have to apply a bandage on that type of hurt, because I'm not sure if that's a wound. You know what I mean? You definitely are hurt, but nobody did anything to you. You just couldn't stop something from happening that happened. That's different than if somebody conditioned you, somebody hurt you, somebody abused you, somebody targeted you, somebody pinpointed you, somebody sicked somebody on you to make sure that you got fucked up. Somebody conditioned you the wrong way. So somebody conditioned you to believe that somebody hurting you is actually helping you, or somebody who hurts you on a continuous basis is actually somebody who loves you. Those are the type of wounds that have to be bandaged. And sometimes we bandage them, and sometimes we don't bandage them, and they just remain open wounds. Open wounds that people sometimes can see right quick, and sometimes it takes people a while to recognize, like, oh, this person is fucked up. So when somebody sees that somebody is messed up, they may try to help. They may try to apply that emotional gauze to finally bandage up this wound. But they may have to treat the wound before they can get the gauze on it. Like, this wound been open for a long time. It's infected. It has spread throughout the body. We got to get the infection out first. We might have to cut this damn piece of this piece of the body off. Might have to cut off this arm, cut off this leg. The infection, the wound is too severe. Queen Matu Mayini, Queen Monica Davis, Monica D40. How you feeling, Ma? Good to see me some you. All right. Cherry says, this is my church. I learned from others. I learned from my teacher, and it is interactive. I hear that. And what is the church going to give you? Oh, wait. And what church is going to give you a shout out with a song? Yeah, what that just say. But pastor say. Ansel Jones asked, how do you put gauze on something that's not physical? Oh, we're talking about not real physical gauze. We're talking about bandaging open emotional wounds. When we talk about emotional wounds, we're talking about emotional scars, wounds, scars. Well, first, before a scar is ever present, it's a wound first. Now, the severity of the wound depends on the type of damage that was inflicted. And it may be different from me to you. Like what hurts you may not be what hurts me. Maybe, for example, or lack of a better example, let's say your girlfriend or your wife cheats on you. You might look at that like the ultimate betrayal. I've heard people say it. Yo, somebody cheating on you is the ultimate betrayal. And I'm thinking like, for me, that's something I could easily get over. I mean, me. But for somebody like you, and not saying you personally, but you proverbially, like you may look at it as the ultimate betrayal. Like, yo, that's I can't believe it. I can't believe they cheated on me, because it may go back to your history of being abandoned or being put second all the time, of you being neglected, or you being treated like a second-class citizen. It may go back to that. So you may have an open wound that's just starting to show when your woman cheats on you. So you might take that real personally. Where somebody like me might be like, well, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna stay with shorty if she cheating on me, but I ain't gonna look at her like she a bad person, or like it's just not something that I'm gonna fail to get over. I'm definitely gonna be able to move on from that. But that might be because my wounds have shifted my focus and my recognition of a wound differently than you. So that's what we're talking about with that. Carol Chamberlain says, this is the church of the conscious minds. Now, I'll take that all day. I take you. Listen, y'all, when I be thanking y'all for letting me be me, I'm not bullshitting, because that's all I've ever wanted to be. I just want to show my ass, not somebody else's ass. They can show their own ass. I hope they show me. You know, if she got a fatty. Anyway. Emily says, tell Monica I said hello, and I'm on YouTube. I'll be back on IG soon. Okay, cool. Emily says, hello, Monica, Queen Monica. Speak on it, pass. All right, but yeah. So the emotional gauze, we're trying to bandage up wounds that haven't been tended to. We're trying to get to the point where we can recognize where somebody has been hurt. How many of y'all? Hold on. Before I get to that, you know, I want to finish that thought about when you tried to keep somebody alive and they died. You know, that's real shit. You know, your heart can be broken because you may feel like God just didn't come through for you. And not everybody handles that situation the same. Like where somebody like me or y'all, we may look at it like, well, God works in mysterious ways, not in the ways that we want him to. God don't come with a remote control. We can't just say, yo, God, I need this, I need that. Even though the word says that we are supposed to ask for what we want, but he doesn't. Nobody said that he was going to give it to you in the way that you asked for. We may understand that, but the next man, the next woman may not get that. They may feel like, you know, they say that, you know, if you pray to God, then he will deliver and blah, 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 blah. But that's not true, because you see, such and such was all I had. And you see, y'all so-called God took it away from me. Well, you know, that will leave an emotional wound. It will cause an emotional wound, but nobody did anything to you. It's just that your lack of understanding. And I hate to put it that way, but it is. Your lack of understanding won't allow you to understand or put the cycle of life into proper perspective, because that's all we're really talking about. That's the cycle of life. But it's hard, especially when you getting into all this naturopathic shit, when you getting into all of this healthy eating and veganism and alkaline living and all of that shit. And you get they tell you all the time, no, there isn't a sickness or illness that can't be treated with food, herbs, food. And of course, that shit sound good, and we have seen some evidence to support it. You understand what I'm talking about? So as we see that evidence to support it, we be thinking like, I can't keep you alive myself, but I can help. And since Queen Monica is here, let me tell y'all a little story about Queen Monica. All right, I hope you don't mind me telling you a story, but I'm gonna tell you a story. When she first was inflicted with her illness back in 2016, it was tough. And I was really thinking like, yo, I'm gonna get her through this personally. Like, this is gonna be my mission. I'm not gonna let my people die like that. No, not. So I'm checking. Look, Monica is a Leo, and I'm a Leo. So, Leo is going to do what they do. He's just like, yeah, I'm taking your advice and all of this, but I got this. And she ain't really like that. But she was telling me, like, listen, you can't just expect me to change everything like this, blah, blah. We don't even know if that's going to work that way. And I'm like, no, you got to do this. You got to stop eating this. You got to blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, if it worked, she's like, all right, whatever. She did it her way, and she got better. And I was like, what? This about a bitch? Fuck. How you, what? It was impressive. But what it showed me was that, yeah, you can have a vision for somebody else's life, but you can't make them do exactly what you want them to do without them having any input, and without them, trying some things that they believe in too. You have to respect their journey. It is theirs. So she definitely survived it. And it wasn't a terminal thing anyway. But I mean, people die all the time, but she did it her way and it worked. So she had other ideas and other ways because she knew her body. I had to respect that. And I had to remember that, like, oh, yeah, shit. People know them. Yeah. But at the time, she was going through so many things with her own body. I'm thinking like, no, you don't know your body. If we knew your body, we wouldn't be going through this shit. Yeah. But it worked out. So it's not up to me to keep somebody else alive. It may just be my personal mission to facilitate that, to help, to assist, to suggest. And that's all you can really do. But that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I'm not emotionally scarred by that. And neither is she. Not we don't have open wounds about that. Get it? In another situation, like back in 2013, when my uncle had cancer, I was really trying to keep him alive and I couldn't do it. And that shit hurt me to my core because I really thought I could save Uncle, but it was too late. And I'm not no fucking doctor. But we was messing around with this stuff called MMS. That was Miracle Mineral Solution, some shit like that. And it was supposed to be the end-all, be-all, cure-all, whatever. Well, let me tell you this. It wasn't the end-all, be-all, cure-all, and all of that kind of stuff. My stepmom was messing around with this stuff, and she died in 2015. So as we continue talking about applying the emotional gauze, what we're really talking about is putting ourselves in a position where we can help somebody to get better. But we have to recognize the problem first. Now, what I was getting ready to say a little bit earlier was, have y'all ever known somebody who dressed nice, kept themselves looking nice, but they always kept themselves, covered up? So you didn't really see. You didn't, you might have met them in the warmer months. I mean, in the cooler months. So they always had the arms covered, legs covered, damn near their neck covered. And maybe through maybe in a summertime or whatever, you got a chance to see them with shorts on and short sleeves. And you might have saw they physical scars. Like, what the fuck? You see this person and been fucked up. They might have all kinds of keloids from being stabbed and shit. And you can see, like, yo, somebody tried to take this person out. Yeah. You didn't see all of that. You didn't see all of that in their attitude, the way they carried themselves. They seemed like a normal person. But you saw when the clothes were removed. It's like when you see a slave and a slave takes off his shirt and you see all the lashes on their back. You're like, God damn. It's something that you couldn't imagine for yourself. But it is what it is. So when you see physical scars on somebody, you can imagine the trauma that they went through when they had those wounds inflicted upon them. With the emotional scars, you have to get to know them. You don't know what they've been through until they start talking. Even if they're not talking about what happened to them, you can hear the pain. You can feel the spirit. You hear that. You feel their soul. You understand what I mean? And if you can relate to anything that they've been through, they don't have to tell you what happened to them. You hear it. You like, oh. Like, some people grow up without a father in their lives, and you don't hear it in the way that they talk. Some people grow up without a father in their lives, and you hear it. Everything they talk about, you see, they have this thing against men when it comes to men not taking care of their children or not being as active as they think that they should be. You hear the disappointment and the disgust in their tone. You hear it. And it's because they feel that pain of having to grow up without a father, or having a father that was neglectful or just wasn't active, even though they were near. It's an open wound, though. It is an open wound. This is different from trying to save somebody's life and not being able to do it. This is, yeah, you could have been there, but you chose not to be there. And you know how it goes. You know, your dad might have had another family that he did take care of, but he didn't come and take care of you. He didn't come and get you. He didn't raise you. He wasn't active in your life. And you might feel some kind of way about it. Some people feel some kind of way about it in an angry way, and some people feel some kind of way about it in a sad way. Nonetheless, they need that emotional gauze. They need it. They need somebody to address that wound. It's open. It's open. And it affects people's relationships. What's going on, my man, Clint C. Brantley? Clint C. Brantley is all up in the house. Thanks for coming through, my man. Listen, for the callers who are calling in, if you want to speak, you have to press number 1, and that will let me know that you would like to speak. And I'll get you right on up in here. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun752, and we are talking about applying the emotional gauze. When you press number 1, you should hear, you are now in the host queue. If you do not hear, you are now in the host queue, then that means I don't see your alert. But y'all can jump in when you're ready. All right, so let's go. Let's go. Emily says, I feel her on that. I didn't do everything doctor time, or I guess you mean on doctor's time. Because like you said, we know our bodies. Queen Monica says, you're right. You have to process it all. Take what is given and apply what works. Some of your suggestions work and work with my methods. Yeah, I could dig it. Clint says, that's why therapy is so important. Yeah, it is. And in our community, that shit, man, we need it. We need it bad. I see that we have a caller on the line. We have a caller with the last numbers 5270. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind this morning? Yeah, we still got a little bit morning left. What's up with you?
2 minutes of morning. Okay.
That's right. Still here.
I was just calling to say, in terms of trying to save people and live for people, I had to come to that realization also, being a case manager, I was always a person who would fix other people's stuff, or people would come to me and ask questions, but that didn't necessarily mean that they wanted me to solve their problem. And I had to come to the realization of that, because I always will say, well, you need to do this, or you need to do that. As much as I hate people to tell me what I need to do, and I didn't realize how much I was telling people what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I tell them what they need to do, then that means that it's what I told them to do. And if they do it and it doesn't work, it's me. It's what I said.
Right.
The stuff you gave me, the stuff you did, the stuff you said.
Yeah.
Is no ownership on their part, because they never had a chance to input it. It's more like it's better to give people all of the information that you have on the subject matter and let them pull it together for themselves and come up with their own, kind of guide. You're guiding them, but you're not telling them what they need to do to make the decisions. And you can't, it's not good to live through them. So sometimes it's just that you want somebody to do better than, our kids. We want our kids to be better than we were.
Yeah.
So we trying to tell them exactly what to do, how to do it. And I used to always say to my mom, well, I'm me. I'm not you. My son says it to me, oh, well, he can do his own thing no matter what. But that's basically what he's saying. Like, I'm not y'all. That's not what I do. That's not me. And we have to try and realize that when we're helping each other. Because every time somebody comes to you, they might want to hear. They might want you just to listen. They might not want you to come up with a solution.
Yeah, that's true. But when somebody comes to you with their problems, all right, you when you were working as a case manager, do you feel like people came to you with open wounds based on the things that they wanted you to provide for them, or were they basically just physical thing? I mean, not physical, but financial things, or did people come to you with their actual problems related to their history, their family makeup, or things like that? Did you detect any emotional, historical pain or damage there?
People came to me because they had to come, they were mandated or whatever. But when you start peeling back the onion or just listening, there was a lot of historical histrionics that was present that stopped them that caused them to be in the situation that they were in, whether they realized it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed when I was a case manager, I used to go to people's house and try and help them to meet the state's requirements of working on their health, or working on whatever was stopping them from being able to get employment or gain, come off of welfare.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. It's a lot of wounds that and a lot of things that they were experiencing that they didn't, that may have not realized that was really stopping them from getting to the next level that they so deeply wanted to get to, but they just didn't see that path because of so many things that they had hooked onto them from years and years and years.
Yeah. So you're saying that you saw certain patterns of abuse or patterns of misunderstanding or just irresponsible behavior that consistently put them in the position that they are to have to keep needing funding, keep needing assistance, keep putting themselves back in the same position that they were cyclically. Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I would get people to come to me with, when they come for their first intake appointment or whatever, they have a folder. But they don't do it as much as they used to, but they used to have a folder full of certificates. I did this training, I did that training, I did this training, I got this, I got that. But it never resulted in them moving past that training stage. You know, it was like I did it because they said I had to do it. This is what I got. Look at all this stuff, but it wasn't getting them anywhere because they were never addressing. No one was addressing the underlying wound that was festering and getting black and ready to be cut off.
Yeah. And okay, so as a case manager, besides the things that were in their file, besides the things that you could research, that you could find out about them before you even were presented with them up front, were there any things that you could see and about them or the things that they said or whatever that couldn't be put in the case files? Things that you could see. Okay, for example, in the case file, it's probably not going to it's probably not going to say that when you were 16 years old you were raped. It's probably that doesn't have anything to do with your situation. You know what I mean? But as you speak to somebody, you may see the way they carry themselves, the way they act, their hesitance towards certain things or getting into certain topics or whatever. You may, because of your training, been able to identify, oh, this person has been somewhere along the line, they have been sexually assaulted. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And of course that's an open wound that I would normally say most women have been through, and it's true. But as you navigate your way through life, you see that a lot of men have been through it too. So there are a lot of people who have been through it, and not everybody talks about it. So that you being a case manager, that might have been a situation that you were not authorized to address, and being in a situation where you are authorized and obligated to help them in a certain area, but you may be concerned about, listen, what's really happening here is this thing over here. She walking in here with an open wound, and I can't even legally apply any kind of gauze. I can't wrap it. I can't even address it. I gotta act like I don't see it. This girl came into my office damn near naked. Like, like she's setting a bad example. She got 3 kids. You walking around, you don't even know better than to look up appropriately in front of your case manager. Like, you obviously getting money stripping, and I'm supposed to not even pay attention to that. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Right. Yeah, definitely. One of the things, that when I was just a regular old welfare to work, and that was not my focus, oftentimes the person themselves, because even as a teacher, I was always one who believed in holistic teaching. So, addressing the whole person, not just, math, but the whole person, everything that went with that person. And so my supervisor used to be mad at me and one of my other coworkers because we would be like, look, we need this book of resources. We need this person. We just found out this person walked all the way here because her man is stealing her card and taking her money. She don't have no tokens to get here. Like we were like meeting people, trying to get them to take the next step. We were doing that next step, and he would often be like, look, this is not the business we in. This is not our focus. But because of the person I was, oftentimes we would end up addressing those issues because we listened to what people were going through or what they weren't saying. So when somebody was consistently late, we found out why they were consistently late and tried to address those issues or get them, and then found out that listening that they are in an abusive relationship and giving them tips and tools on how to survive that, and when they're ready to move forward, we can help them take that next step. These are some resources where you need to go. So even though that wasn't my job, it was often what I did, just because I look for the humanity of things.
Yeah.
And I can say for myself, like it's like so many things that people don't realize affect them. You just don't, because you all, even from a kid, get up, dust yourself off, get back on that bike. You could, don't stop now. You never give people a chance to deal with the things that are occurring on them. And I think for me, as when I was in the master's program, one of the first things that we did was we had to know ourselves. So we had to unpeel that onion on ourselves and apply theories and methods to what we experienced in our life. So first we had to write our autobiography. So, you had to look at yourself and see what's going on with you and what's your triggers, what causes you to do the things that you do.
Yeah.
I'm saying things affect you, like as far as I was born early. I never knew what that meant until my son was born early. But when I was born early, oftentimes you're alone, you're in an incubator, you're in a sterile room, no touching back then. It wasn't no kangaroo care back then. It was no touching. You was in a sterile little incubator trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But once I looked at what that really meant, I was a fighter from the beginning. You know what I mean? If my grandma told me a story, she said, yeah, I went in that room and you was in that thing screaming and hollering and crying and fighting, flinging your arms, you was fighting. And, so I translated that, and I was always a fighter. So if you look at me, Monica, or, whatever the last 4 digits of my number is, when you look at that and you see who is she, I'm a fighter, but that fighter went all the way back from birth. But who knew that? And
Right.
As you peel back those onions to get those underlying things,
Right.
that what makes you get to where you are now.
Yeah.
You're willing to address it.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you really think about it, people, like nowadays, people put a lot of emphasis on the way that babies come into this world. I mean, they have for years, but I think that because of the internet, because we're in the information age now, we understand how important it is for children to get off to a good start, because we understand more now the psychological effects that things are going to, the way the psychological effect that the experiences that people have is going to have on them, as they go through life, as they get older, as they become adults. So by the time you become a full-fledged adult, like in your case, you were already fighting just to become alive, just to survive, birth, and then you heap the experiences that you've had through triumph and tragedy throughout your life. So by the time we 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, especially as Black people, we already have a treasure trove of a lot of bullshit that we've had to deal with. So, just like the slaves had the scars on their back to show the wounds that were inflicted by the cat of nine tails through the overseer, whatever. We have all of the emotional scars of racism, discrimination, emotional abuse, physical abuse, all types of social. I think that there must be a such thing as social abuse. Like the wounds that society inflicts upon us because of their expectations, and it changes from place to place, but it's a lot to carry, and then with all of that being said, we are still second class citizens. We're seen as second class citizens by the people that we work for and the people that we employ. It's not easy, and it sounds like we just bitching, but we're not. This is real shit, and those wounds often go unaddressed, untreated, and they're open, and nobody even knows. No, a lot of us don't even recognize the wound to apply the gauze on it. So it's just there, open. Sometimes it bleed. Most times it doesn't. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to wipe it off. Sometimes we have to, put a little peroxide on it, whatever. But it's not. We have not put the gauze on it. We have not allowed the skin to bind itself on it, and it's still an open wound that needs to be addressed. It's not, and it's probably not just from one source, so it can be tough. It can be tough. You caught my attention when you was talking about how you were a case manager. You had to go into people's homes. When you go into people's homes, you really see some shit. You get an experience that's different from the jobs that anybody else does. And I've never been a case manager, but I've been a landlord. And I've been a landlord, and I've also been somebody who worked inside of people's houses. And you hear those conversations. You hear real conversations. You understand what I mean? You hear who didn't come home last night and why they not coming home again. And you hear people crying, and you hear abuse, you see abuse, and they do it right in front of you and they don't say nothing. You see drugs, you see people using drugs, you see evidence of the drugs, you see why your rent ain't getting paid and how come it's not going to be. You see it right there, and they don't know. There were plenty of times where people didn't know I was a landlord. They didn't know that I was the one that they was paying rent to. They only looked at my dad as being a landlord. So if they didn't even know me, if they didn't know that was my dad or whatever, if I wasn't in the office when they came to apply for the place or whatever, so they would speak. I heard conversations. I saw the way people live. I saw their bathrooms. I saw the rooms that they hide. I saw how they live, how they transform a place that was ready for them to move into a place that looks like they moved into a slum, and then they want to call you a slumlord. Yeah, and they want to call you a slumlord based on how they fucked the place up. It's different. But you get a real education when you go into people's houses. But you see the reasons for our condition, the Black condition. You see it bullseye. It's like, wow. Like, and it's not just because of this, it's because of these. Like, you get so many examples, you start to see some consistencies. And it's tough. It really, really is. But you see all of these. Okay. All right. Now, I talk about this often enough, but how we on the internet, and we see on social media, we see the somewhat failure of the public school system. We see who can read and who can write and who can't. We see it now. We saw it when we were in school, but after school, we didn't concentrate on it as much, especially somebody like, people like me and you that went to college and all that kind of stuff. Everybody could read and write, except for the athletes. But anyway, you start to become absent and desensitized to the other situation that's going on out there, the real situation that you're going to come home to eventually. And you don't see it. Yeah. So social media has put it right back in our face again. It's made us take another look at it. Like, oh yeah, Yeah, some people didn't. Everybody wasn't learning the same. Some of us weren't learning anything, and it's showing. And a lot of it was because they didn't get the attention, the individual attention that they may have needed in order to pass those classes or to at least grasp the material. And when we was in school, we was too busy worried about our own grades. But now we see that, damn, while I may have been struggling here, it was people struggling way more than me. And I'm saying all of this to say that just like we're talking about applying the emotional gauze to wounds that that have been open that we may not have seen before. It's the same way in the educational system. We're finding where the problems have been, where they're stemming from, and we couldn't see it before. Now that people are online and they're forced to write a little bit, read a little bit, we're starting to see where a lot of the problems are. It's a little tough. So,
and you know what? It was something that I was going to say. Just like people in recovery, I remember my uncle. He was in recovery from a long, long time of drug use and all of that kind of stuff. And one time, I remember him saying, "A situation can put you right back to the beginning of your recovery, like it never happened, and you have to go through the whole process again. Not saying that you picked up, but just the situation itself puts you back at 12, 13, 14, whatever, whenever you started, it puts you right back in that situation, and that occurs a lot. And now that we have social media, I'm saying like." He said, I mean, I watch it and everything, but watching it makes me want to curse. I don't really curse like that, but watching the social media, and now it's like you watch one video, and the next thing you know, some reels pop up, and it's like 1,000 reels, on the same subject matter, like over and over and over again. Then you got the busted challenge, or this challenge, or that challenge, and you got all these scantily dressed people. Hair, nails, eyes, butt, everything out, switching back and forth, men, women, everything. And it's just like put all of this in your face. And I can't even imagine, I'm in the house all the time. You know what I mean? So I can't even imagine like somebody who can't put this stuff in categories and sometimes it affects me. So, I can't even imagine somebody who don't have anybody to deal with those emotional scars. A kid just committed suicide. I don't even know what it was about, but he's home on the internet. All these things that probably added to the stress that even the kids are going through. The parents, the kids, the aunties, the grandmas. Everybody's going through these emotional things, but nobody's dealing with it.
Yeah,
I don't even know what we're gonna do when we get back to out in the world.
Yeah.
Look, you got people shooting up stuff now because
I know, right?
Nobody's able to address all of it. I'm sorry for talking too much.
Nah, you're not talking too much. You're talking that real shit, and because this pandemic, this these pockets of quarantine and things like that, they have showed us one of the reasons I think that people have really resented the quarantine is because you have been forced to look at what has been done right in the face. If you've done something to somebody that was close to you, you got to deal with it now. Ain't nowhere to run. You don't have no job to go to. You know what I'm saying? You're not running out to the club to do this, or just doing something to take your mind off of it. Many people can't afford to go away or to escape or practice the escapism that they've been trying to that they've been practicing for a long time. So those emotional wounds they showing big time. And also with the pandemic, it has had an effect on the space that we have. Because if you come from a family with a lot of members inside the home, you're always that right in there up under each other, and you can see what you've done right in terms of your tutelage. You can see what you've been doing wrong, and and with this homeschooling, a lot of people are seeing like, yeah, well, it's not necessarily homeschooling, but remote schooling or whatever, and you starting to see like, yeah, parents having to submit to the fact like, yeah, I guess I haven't really been checking no homework, have I? And all those times when I came up to the school and defended my child, I see they was dead wrong. Now they at home acting up the same way that they was probably acting up in class, and I can't defend their ass at home. No. How you gonna be disruptive online? Like, damn, you a class clown online? Yeah. Still, like, how you passing notes and how you passing notes and chewing gum online? But hey, it's going down. But you see, like, not being raised properly, whatever that means, because I'm not trying to judge nobody on the way that they raise their kids, but not raising your kids properly, not making sure that they have the tools that they need to ensure their physical, financial, and social success of the future. That's abuse to me. If you're not giving your children anything to hold on to, if you're just telling them that whatever they do is okay and they can make their own decisions and basically raise themselves, or you just set a negative example, like you always willing to physically fight against everything, but you're not willing to physically fight against anything that is a real threat or a real problem for you. No, that's a form of abuse. Neglect is abuse too. Now, how do you apply the emotional gauze on neglect? Only thing that can fit the opposite of neglect is attention. So when you're dealing with somebody who fails to understand the importance of attention, that wound is going to stay open. And what there aren't that many things that are better than being used to not being paid attention. Like, don't nobody care what I got to say. Don't nobody care about my accomplishments. Don't nobody care if I come or go. Don't nobody care if I show up. Don't nobody care if I leave early. Don't nobody care if I do well. Don't nobody care if I fail. That's not good. That's not good. And you can see how that would affect any type of romantic relationships that you would get in, because I could see you definitely putting yourself in the line of fire to not have somebody give a shit about you. Like you already used to it. Oh, like, well, my mom and my dad, brothers, sisters, nobody really gave a shit about what I did or what I thought. Well, they never cared. So you don't have to care either. I'll still play my part and do whatever you need me to do. But if you just ignore me or whatever, then that's okay, because you got the right one. I'm built for that. To the point where when somebody may show you some real attention, some real love, some affection or whatever, you may not even know how to handle it. It may come off as weak to you. That may come off as weak to you. Now, I'm not saying that this happens in every example like this, but the possibilities are out there because of this open wound that has gone unaddressed. Well, I mean, what's worse than thinking that nothing you do will matter? That's like, we don't always think about air until we can't breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody out there who's had any type of cardio or pulmonary issues and shit, you realize you start being thankful for some oxygen. Like, yo, that short breath shit ain't no fun. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my asthma my asthma,
Asthmatic.
yeah, my asthmatics, you know, bronchitis, even people who smoke and fuck they shit up like that. CPOD. Well, no, what is it?
Yep.
It's CPOD, right?
COPD.
COPD. Yeah. All right. COPD. All of that shit. Like, regardless of what you did before, I know you feeling the effects of that shit. It ain't cool. Not being able to breathe is real shit. And we don't think about air until it gets to that point.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no fun if your lungs can't get none.
Yeah, that's interesting because so when you, even if you kind of like trying to be in a relationship, any kind of relationship, so you talking about a work relationship, a friendship, a romantic, like any kind of ship you trying to be in, and you carrying that one little piece that's really humongous that nobody paid attention, nobody, you know, that neglect, that feeling of despair or worthlessness, and you taking that to work, or you're taking that to a friendship, or you're taking that to your neighbor, you know, and then you trying to interact with people, and the people on the other end never experienced 90 seconds. What you talking about? Don't understand your feelings. All they know is the act that you're doing. You know what I mean? All they know is you acting like an a-hole, and they don't get why. And you know, somebody normal wouldn't be acting like this in the workplace or in a friendship. Like, who does that? And so it's like so hard to see. But that's why we need more. And this is not where you was going, but I think that's why we need more grassroots organizations, groups, or people. Like when you used to do videos out and talk to the kids and listen to them and have them do their little dance or whatever they, you know, they made it a point to put a little routine together so they know the next time they see Mr. O out in the street, they gonna have their thing together so that they can be on camera and people can see them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you can listen to them. Somebody's paying attention. It gives them some kind of purpose. But how many people walk by? You know, we are not now we're really not a Philly touching, you know, society. But we're not the kind of people that pay attention to what's going on with somebody else unless it's a show and it's a camera available and, you know, it's some kind of tragedy. Then everybody want to pay attention. But before that, you know, when they get the camera on that neighbor, they be like, oh, yeah, he was wearing, you know, some weird clothes and playing some crazy music and doing some little questionable things. But, you know, we never would have thought it was something like that. But they never thought to ask either, or never thought that people paid attention. When I was a kid, I was a latchkey kid, but I was not a neglected child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I had all these, what we call newsy behind neighbors that always, you know, was in here saying something, doing something, but they also was dropping knowledge on me too. Or don't let me see you doing that again because X, Y, and Z. You can't do that to kids now, please.
Yeah.
You can't. You know what I mean? So it's like our that me mentality has infiltrated everything and taken away people's ability to be humanistic to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when people care about you, it shows, and when they don't care, sometimes it shows too. And I have to say, sometimes it shows because, you know, sometimes people are going through their own shit and they just can't give you the time and attention that you might need. It doesn't mean that they don't care. They just may not be able to be present at that time. But when they don't care, when they really, really don't care, they'll show you in other ways other than just telling you. It'll show because, you know, when somebody cares about you, they will try to find a way to get with you. You know, like, listen, I can't do it right now. I might not be able to do it until, you know, this week or that week or whatever, but we're going to get together for sure. And even if I can't get with you physically, I'm going to keep in touch. I'm going to make sure I reach out, you know, those kinds of things. Caring comes in a lot of different forms. And sometimes we try to personalize how somebody should care for us. And it's okay to show somebody how to love you properly so you can feel it. but we can't always make the decision about how they will conduct themselves, towards us all the time. Like, we have to make adjustments too. Like, the same way that we were talking earlier about how you were treating yourself when you first fell under your condition. You had some ideas, you knew your body, you understood some things, based on your research and what the doctors were telling you and all that kind of stuff, more than I did. So of course you're thinking like, okay, all right, what you're talking about is good, but I was thinking about more of, this should work for any condition. And you were probably thinking more like, no, this is what we need for this condition. You understand what I mean? And it makes sense. It makes sense. But at the end of the day, people who want to help try to help. And at least they're trying to get the ball rolling. So when we're talking about bandaging up emotional scars, when we're talking about applying the emotional gauze, we're talking about how we help ourselves and how other people may attempt to help us also. It's the two have to come together. You know how people say, help me help you. Sometimes we don't help people to help us. And like, if we don't want to tell people what's wrong with us, like, sometimes we show, like, our emotional scars show. When we've had our feelings hurt, it shows. I mean, it may show to your friends, it may show to your lovers, whatever. But like, when I get with a woman, when I first of all, just about every woman I've ever messed with has been abused in some type of way. Not like maybe had they ass whooped, you know what I'm saying? But they've gone through some shit. They've gone through some shit that has affected them and devastated them. So they didn't always have to tell me that. I could see it. I could see it in their way. Like, either they were looking to latch on to something real quick, or they were real hesitant. Like, well, no, I'll do. Something got to be up when somebody will show you all of this freaky shit, but you ask them about how things were with their mom and their dad, and they're like, it's like, so yeah. So let me get this straight. You're willing to take your clothes off damn near in public, but when it comes to what happened to you in the 3rd grade, and this little incident where DHS had to come in, well, it ain't that hard to figure it out. I hate to say this shit, but it's true. The freakiest women are the ones who've been abused over the long haul. You know what I mean? Because they've been desensitized to sexual activity. That ain't no thing. But when it comes to talking about how come they got there, it becomes a thing. And it's a natural thing to want to move away from the pain. That's what all living things do. We try to move away from the pain, but don't think that people can't see it when we can see it. Now the question becomes, all right, you may be able to see what's going on with me, but are you here to help, or are you just here to identify? Are you here to point the finger, or are you here to go into this first aid, this mental and emotional first aid kit, and get the gauze out of there, get the iodine out of there, get the peroxide out of there, get the alcohol wipes out of there, get whatever you need, the ointment, whatever. Are you willing to go into your little Felix bag of tricks for emotional scars and emotional wounds and help? Or are you just here to say, I see you, this would happen to you, and I'm going to do it too, because I know that it can be done to you, and I'm going to do it. So and trust is all. Listen, whenever somebody doesn't trust somebody, that is an open wound. You know what I mean? That shit need gauze. And the thing is, you can't fix that. You can't fix that for yourself. You can't just make yourself trust people. People have to be worthy of trust.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they have to do in order to earn your trust is they have to be willing to even go through all of that. You know what I mean? You might not want all that heaped on you and you know at one time or early in the relationship. Like, God damn, I gotta jump through all these fiery hoops. The next man, he was damn near pimping you, and I gotta come through. I gotta come through. You know what I'm saying? And be on some Dr. Phil shit. It's not fair. But if your love is strong,
and you know, that's a behavioral thing, and so a cognitive thing, not a behavior. That's a cognitive thing. So you know, that means that what really needs to take place is the things that you think is going to happen, and the things that happen have to become a reality to you. So as people become trustworthy, you got to start replacing your thoughts with those positive things that occurred.
Yeah.
You know, in order to be able to really have the trust and continue to trust, because if not, then you know, every time something else happens, that distrust is gonna come right back in, seep right in, and soil whatever progress you made, because underlying you still really don't trust. You know, like all that other stuff was just a show. That was just, you know, you were just doing that, you know, to win me over. And now the real person comes out, you know, like all of that stuff starts coming back into play.
Yeah. Yeah, trust. You know, a lot of times I try to separate love from trust because you don't have to have one to have the other, as far as I'm concerned. But when somebody is dealing with you, you may require for a little bit you may require them to have at least a blend of both, because I'm going to have to trust you to love me. I'm going to have to love you enough to trust you sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if if I'm going to allow you to work on me, if I'm going to allow you to bandage up my emotional wounds, if I'm going to allow you to put this gauze on there, I'm going to have to make sure that you, first of all, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Just don't be wrapping my shit all crazy. You know what I mean? Got me out here looking like a mummy. Like, look, the scars on my wrist, and you wrapping my head. Like, what you doing? Like, yo, I say that the wound is really on your head. Like, look, man, I ain't going out here looking like I just got out of a car accident. But anyway, but yeah, I need to know that you know what you're doing. I need to know that you are treating me in the right way. You know, you're not just you know applying something just to make yourself look good, like you tried to help. I need you to know that. I need to know that you understand where the real problem is and that you're trying to address it. I need to know that you care. I need to know that you really want me to get better, not just in shape so you can, you know, knock me down again. So the trust in that way, it goes a long way. The trust and the caring and the love and all of that. Listen, we gotta get on up out of here. I appreciate you coming through, though. It was a pleasure. And you know what? I gotta holler at you too, because I mean, you'll find out in a minute. You'll find out in a minute when I don't want to put you right on the spot, but you'll understand where I'm coming from in just a few minutes. All right. So I'm gonna holler back at you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate me some you, no doubt. All right, y'all. We gotta do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious February 21st, and they deserve to be. They deserve to be. They deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, like I was talking about earlier. My daddy's birthday today, turning 84 years old today. I'm blessed. 84 years old today. I'm blessed. Happy birthday, my dad. He don't look at my show, but it's all good because somebody gonna let him know. Happy 84th birthday to you. I'm glad that you're getting better. I'm glad to see you. Word. So happy birthday to you, brother Mac. Milton McIntyre. Turning 84 years old today, do the damn thing. I'm gonna see you in a few minutes. I'm gonna get out of here. Come holler at you. And also LaShonda Sutton, turning 42 years old today. Happy birthday to you, LaShonda. And Nadine Miranda, turning 40 years old today. She's 40. She got bow. I'm drunk. All right, it's all good. Happy birthday to you, Nadine. I'm sorry, Nadine Miranda. And Cindy Tucker Sanders. Happy birthday to you. And also Apple Hines, turning 50 years old today. Happy birthday to you. And Lisa Marie Gullery, turning 46 years old today. And Angel Jordan, turning 25 years old today. And Marianne Holt, happy birthday to you. And Yvonne in Love, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, Hakeem Everett, turning 33 years old today. 33 years old today. Yeah. I want to say happy birthday to all of you. And anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious February 21st, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally, all of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, the hood is our health, baby. I need to start getting back into that. And since we're going to be talking about the Urban Therapy with Sun show on the weekends, we're going to have to get back to that. The hood is our health. And what I meant, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, when I started saying that the hood is our health, I meant that we all live in the hood. I don't care what hood you talking about, because hood doesn't mean ghetto. It means neighborhood. It's short for neighborhood. And a neighborhood is anywhere where you live, where there are other people around there. That's the neighborhood. That's the landscape. And anything that's healthy is good. You can't be healthy and be bad. There's no way. So when you talk about you're mentally healthy, that means that you're in good shape. It doesn't mean that you all fucked up or no. When your finances are healthy, you have good financial health, that means they're in good shape. When you are physically healthy, that means you're in good shape. It don't mean that you got a cold right now, you got the sniffles. It means that you are in good shape. You are ready to go. Things are working the way that they're supposed to work. So when we start talking about your emotional gauze, applying the emotional gauze, we're talking about the lack of emotional health. We're talking about scars. We're talking about wounds that have been opened, have been infected, have spread throughout other areas of your life and have gone unaddressed. And it's time for us to identify the problems that we have individually and also identify the problems that other people have and try to get together and fix each other's shit. Why wouldn't you do that for your brother or your sister or your lover or your mother or brother or father, whatever? Auntie, uncle, cousins, your peoples. Why wouldn't you do that? And why wouldn't you want it done for you? But once again, we have to help people to help us. We have to put ourselves in a position where we are humble enough to recognize what our flaws are. And we have to apply a little bit of trust. First of all, we have to identify the people that we can trust, and we have to give trust in them enough. Don't give them the obligation, but give them the trust to at least handle you with care. if somebody was shot or stabbed or whatever, you wouldn't just pick them up, throw them over your shoulder, be like, oh, I gotta get them to get them to safety. You would pick them up gently. You would handle them. You would try to keep from hurting. You would try to keep from inflicting more pain on the sensitive area where they were damaged. So we also have to do that with the people who are on emotional shaky ground, who have these emotional open wounds. We have to handle them with care. So we have to trust that our people who love us and care about us will handle us with care. But we got to be able to trust them first. So if you are the hurt, then you have to find people that will help you out. Put yourself in a position to get better. And if you are the one that's trying to help, then you have to present yourself in a way where you are inviting. I mean, you can liken it to when you're dealing with a wild animal ain't just going to come to you unless you have food for him. And even if you have food for him, if he's been hurt by somebody who looks like your kind, he ain't coming. You can drop that food, and when you go away, then the animal will come and eat it. Other than that, you come in there with empty hands talking about something. Hey, here, deer. Come here, deer. Hey, antelope, come on over. No, they ain't coming. Like, fuck it. What you talking about? So we have to get away from treating each other that way. You know what I mean? We have to present ourselves in a way where it looks like we have some food, but we ain't trying to trick them. We're just trying to show them that, listen, I'm really am here to feed you. I may not be able to get your belly full, but I can give you some nourishment. And that's what the food is really for. Thanks for coming through, Robbie, Robin, Ming, my big sis, always doing the thing, and grits and wavy, and grits and wavy, wavy and grits. And my girl, I am Shanae. What up, Shanae? And MC Elixir, what's going on, my brother? Never seen you coming through in a minute. And my girl, Nikki, formerly of the Nikki and O Show. What's going on? Oh, no, that's not Nikki. That's Miss Becky. My bad, Miss Becky. Hold on. I know that ain't my man Tyrese. 10107. I know that ain't my man. I just know that ain't my brother from all the way back in the 85, 86, 87. No. Could it be? That's my man. If it's you, good to see you, my man. I be seeing you on Instagram. You know what I mean? Get your family life together. You know what I'm saying? Remember you was... Yeah, I used to go check my man working out at the A&PM Mini Mart. I knew he was going to be something. My man used to work like crazy back in the day. We was teenagers. He was 16, 17, already contributing to the household. I was like, this man going to be a family man one day. I ain't fuck that. All right, y'all. So, okay, this is what we're going to do. So, like I told y'all in the beginning, Daily Go Get 'Em Business Show Monday through Friday. Weekdays, basically. Daily Go Get 'Em Business Show weekdays. Urban Therapy with Sun shows weekends. Saturday and Sunday, Urban Therapy with Sun show. Daily Go Get 'Em Business Show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Y'all got it? Next Saturday on the Urban Therapy with Sun show. On the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we're going to be talking about home health care. We're going to have a conversation about home health care. What is home health care? What are your experiences with home health care? Whether you are the recipient of home health care or whether you are a home health care provider. So we need to talk about the system, how it works, how you whether it's fair or unfair, whether it's good or bad, or whether it really helps or is it just a scam. We're going to talk about home health care next Saturday. Hey. That's what we're talking about next Saturday, 11 a.m. on the Urban Therapy with Sun show. So make sure y'all come through. It's going to be a good conversation. I ain't even going to tell y'all what we're going to be talking about on Sunday. Not yet. But I do already have it. Just concentrate on the home healthcare thing. So, if you know home healthcare providers, let them know that we having a show about that on this Saturday. We could talk about that. If you know somebody who is in need of home healthcare right now, and they've had problems with it getting, whether it was problems getting funding for it, paying for it, or whether the home healthcare is really helping them, or somebody just picking up a check. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it next Saturday. We gonna talk about next Saturday. All right, so that's how it's going down on the Urban Therapy with Sun show next Saturday. Y'all want to know what we talking about tomorrow on the Daily Go Getimism show? I'll tell y'all what we talking about tomorrow on the Daily Go Getimism show. Tomorrow on the Daily Go Getimism show, we are talking about trying to stay relevant. Trying to stay relevant. What does that mean to you? When somebody is trying to stay relevant, are you trying to stay relevant in somebody's life, or are you trying to stay relevant out here in society? On social media, you got a lot of people just trying to stay relevant. Like, for who? You don't know those people. Well, then you can't tell them that. We're going to talk about trying to stay relevant tomorrow on the Daily. I said the Daily, the Daily Go Getimism show. Having a conversation about home health care next Saturday on the Urban Therapy with Sun show. All right? So, you know what I'm saying? All right, wait. All right, let me get Blog Talk on up out of there. Blog Talk, we go bye-bye. We go bye-bye, Blog Talk. We go bye-bye. We go bye-bye. Peace. All right. And on the Instagram side.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
On the IG side, thanks for coming through, y'all. I appreciate it mucho. See y'all later. Hold on. No. Yes. Good. All right. And for my YouTubers, make sure that y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I hope y'all enjoyed the show today as much as I enjoyed broadcasting it to y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Whoa. It's time to go. It's time to go. Thought before we get on up out of here. All right, y'all. Be careful today if y'all going out. Peace.